Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Welcome to first live stream for ages. I'm trying to think how long it is since I last did one, and it's the one that went disastrously badly with technical issues, which I hope aren't going to happen tonight. Fingers crossed. Bit of a dry throat. I'll have to cure that in a minute. But I hope you're all doing very well. Thank you for being here. You've probably seen the title of this video. I'm doing a World Cup of Beatles B-sides. So it's one that people had been asking for quite a bit, and there should be a little bit of controversy over the songs that are in there and the ones that aren't, but there's a reason for them. Everyone that's in there is in there for a reason. Every song that isn't in there is not in there for a good reason. So hopefully there won't be too many arguments about what's in there and what isn't. Bradford lad, my first live stream. Well, welcome. Thank you very much. You're not in Bradford though, are you? You're in, is it America or Australia, if I remember rightly? Thank you for joining me. Before I'm not going to start straight away on the World Cups. If anybody's got anything they want to send through, any questions about things that have been happening lately, because it's all been going on, hasn't it, with Beatles Get Back, ask anything you want about that. I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. Ask anything you want about anything. And when we're ready, we'll start the World Cup. You're in LA. That's a long way from Bradford, is that? Excellent. Greetings, Robert in Norway. Brilliant. Hi, Scott. Hello, everybody who's saying hello. Born in Bradford. Yes, not far from where I am. Cheers, everybody, by the way. My first and possibly last beer of the week. I talk about beer just as a message comes in from Munich, Germany. Hello, Slava. That was appropriate. Right. Okay. So, a couple of things that I wanted to mention. Before I do that, you now start sending in your questions. Brilliant. Have I pre-ordered my Get Back Blu-ray? Yes, I pre-ordered it in January when it originally came up, and that order still seems to be good. I got the update message yesterday, so I found out on, what day are we on now? Wednesday. So I found out Monday night that it was all going to happen yesterday, and there was we had a bit of talk about it over on Twitter, those of us that are on there, on Monday night, and then yesterday everything seemed to happen, and people getting notices saying, it's coming on July 12th or July 11th, even, it says, for Amazon UK, which is great. So, looking forward to that, and I may well then cancel Disney Plus, which I'm sure is half the reason why Disney didn't want to release it in the first place, is because they know that a lot of people who signed up for it will probably cancel the subscriptions. So I'm sort of currently thinking about, well, what else do I need to watch on Disney Plus before I cancel my subscription? Probably a load of Star Wars related stuff outside of the main films, which I'm very familiar with, but all those sort of other bits and pieces, I've never seen all the other sort of series around it. Do all that and then cancel Disney Plus. What do I think is the most successful of the Beatles remixes, says Justin. What do I think is the most successful? As in, which did they do the best job on, or which was commercially the most successful? I don't know which is commercially the most successful. I think the Let It Be one is probably the new pinnacle there. I think Giles has really learned how to do the remixes. You could argue that Sgt. Pepper and the White Album were maybe a little bit bold, shall we say, the remixes, where Abbey Road and Let It Be have been much more faithful, I think, and much more subtle remixes, and all the better for it, I think. Yes, Dirty Soul Monkey, still Mccartney 1, 2, 3 on there. That's a good point. So I'll have to watch that probably another one or two times, definitely, before I start cancelling Disney Plus. What else have we got? Do we think now that the Blu-ray has been re-released that they won't do a longer cut or the extra kind of thing? We don't know. I'm as guilty as anybody of saying, well, let's get this out, and then hopefully once Disney have lost their exclusivity, let's have some monster package that includes Let It Be and Peter Jackson's cut. I'm as guilty as anybody of saying this, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's all just sort of us kind of guessing and hoping. There's nothing out there to suggest that it will happen. Yeah, were there any Paul songs you loved more this go round? Reviewing all his records, says Lena. Yeah, because I did Paul McCartney album ranking series of videos about 3 years ago, and these ones that I've done over the last few weeks have been sort of superseding all of those really. But that one was much more, what do I think are his best albums? Whereas this was, as I've said about 100 times during the videos, which do I enjoy the most? And therefore some things have naturally been very different. So Wildlife would be a good example where if I was going to say what do I think are his best albums, I wouldn't put Wildlife up there. But if I'm saying what do I think are his albums that I enjoy the most, Wildlife's right up there for me. But were there any Paul songs I loved more this go round? I think probably the Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway archive collections really helped me to learn to love those albums a lot more than I had done previously. So probably a few bits and pieces on there, I would think, on those two. Michael says, please tell us how you managed to get the first Plastic Ono band box. I think I did, didn't I? I think I got the first one. Look, it's a simple story. I got contacted by, I won't say who, because that person doesn't want naming, who works for Yoko, and said, we'd like to send you this. Would you like to receive it? You bet I would. And it was as simple as that. I gave him my address, and a few days later, there it was. And I think just because I happened to be in England, and I think that's where they were being posted from, I was lucky that mine got here before anybody else's did. And that's all there was to it, really. George, you've not looked at the last McCartney rating. You've had surgery. Well, I hope you're getting better, George. I hope you're on the mend. Am I going to try and see Paul during the Got Back tour? It's highly unlikely. I have no plans to. I'm not going to go abroad for it. If he suddenly announced dates in England and they were not at the other end of the country and not ridiculous prices, then I might well do. I have no plans to. Let's put it like that. I'm kind of settled in my own mind that I've seen Paul. How many times have I seen him? 4 or 5. And I think I've probably seen him for the last time. But if not, if another one comes along, then fair enough. Hi, Sheffield and beyond. How are you doing? Thank you for joining again. Stuart, naughty, illegal download sites. Good grief. Never heard the like. But you're getting the Blu-ray. Excellent. Any London Town box update news? Nothing concrete yet, Chris, but it does. The gut feeling seems to be that London Town may well be the next one. Might not have Back to the Egg with it. It may well be on its own, but there's nothing definite on that at all yet. When is McCartney episode 6 coming out? I presume you mean my episode 6. Well, it's filmed. I've recorded it. I spent about 2 hours editing it last night, and I got about halfway through it. So I've got another few hours of editing to do. So I think, where are we now? Wednesday. Well, I've got a couple of other videos that I need to get live first, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Maybe the weekend, maybe very early next week, not sure. But that's been interesting. So I said I was going to do this bonus episode of all these other albums, so not his main studio albums, but things like live, compilation, classical, Fireman, and other albums that don't come into those categories. And would you believe there was 32 of them? 32 albums. I've done them all in one video. So it's I couldn't talk in depth about each one, but that was a bit of an epic one. So hopefully it will go down okay when it comes out. Hi everybody who's just joining. What are my favourite type of videos to film? Says I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. What am I favorite? The one thing I like about these is that when I switch the camera off, it's done. I don't have to go and spend hours editing it and doing all that kind of thing. It's done. It's finished. I like ones that I can do in one take that don't like much editing. Switch the camera on, bang. But I'm just not good enough to usually do it in one take. I usually make a right mess. I'll be sat there going, hi, thank you for joining me. Oh, flipping heck, start again. And it takes me about 6 takes even to just say, thank you for joining me. Ridiculous. Buddy, you haven't missed any voting yet. No, we've not started. We're just waiting for people to join, and we're just doing a bit of a questions and answer thing. We'll be starting soon with this World Cup, and I'll explain how it's going to work. RoboTube, Searching for the Young Soul Rebels. What an amazing album that is. One of my absolute favourite albums of the 80s now, I would think. Having got to know it a lot more just over the last few years. Tyrone, you're hoping to go to Glastonbury to see Paul. Excellent. Enjoy. I think you'll enjoy it more there than the general public will on TV. I'm not looking forward to dealing with the fallout of that. Blockfrog, you wanted to mention you have a few vinyl records that came with CDs in those wallet sleeves, and you don't blame me for switching them out. They are very space effective. They certainly are. I have had no regrets yet in the, I don't know, what's it been, 3 or 4 months, maybe since I ditched a lot. I've done about 700 CDs now that I've switched over into those plastic cases. No regrets whatsoever. It's freed up loads of space for things. Some of the space I'm not using massively effectively, but I will be doing. Once I get more stuff, I wouldn't have been able to fit anything more in anywhere if I hadn't have done that. Any news on a Sometime in New York City box set, says Seal Decker? It looks, I think the smart money now is probably on it coming out around October, John's birthday time. That's always been a kind of a popular time of year for them. They're not doing it in June, clearly. We'd know about it by now. June, I think early June is it, which is the actual 50th anniversary. They're clearly not doing that, so let's hope for October, I think. I love sentences that start with "Andrew, you are costing me a fortune because." Let's have a look. Every time I watch one of your reviews of the various box set, I've then gone out and bought them. Sorry. Well, actually, on that note, Stuart, I'm not going to give too much away here, but I'm just going to show you an envelope that I got today. I hope you can see this. Let me have a look whether I can get. This is where it's come from. I don't know if this is going to show. It might be tricky for you to read. It's come from Strawberry Field in Liverpool as this today. There was a CD inside it, and I've recorded a video today about what this CD is. It is a new Paul McCartney related CD. Which I've done a video about, and that'll be coming tomorrow. I'll be showing you what that is and how you can get hold of one. So I'd listened to that. It was quite interesting. Paul Rings, the Fish Pie Sky says, Paul Rings, hi, it's Paul. I want to do my best to worst solo albums. Will you be the host, Andrew? And you say, who is this? Get off my phone. Stop winding me up. Well, yeah, I'll have a go. That's, yeah. Good fantasy world there. Am I a fan of ELO? I mean, yeah. I don't know much beyond the hits, but yeah, great band, and the songs that I do know, they're great. But I've never really explored studio albums. George says, when will I do a George Harrison album ranking? I've already done it, George. I did it not too long ago. I assume if in YouTube you type George Harrison album ranking Andrew Dixon, I guess it'll show my video, but I did it several months ago. Done it. I have seen it. It looks fabulous. I don't know what you're referring to there. Oh, Macca has reinvented his website. I didn't know this. Is this recent? I'll have to have a look at that. Ruby says it looks fabulous, so fair enough. I'll have to do that sometime. Any music from new artists catching my ear at the moment? Not massively, David. I'm turning into an old fart now. I think it's official. Now I've hit a milestone age just recently. You know, one of those ones that ends with a 0. And I guess the closest I could say, but I've even been listening to these for probably nearly 4 years now, is the Lemon Twigs. 2 brothers from New York, great rock band, really, really good. So they'd be the ones that I would recommend. Seen them live a couple of times, and they're very good. Don't worry, George. It's that's the beauty of YouTube. It's all there still. It's all there to go back and look at whenever you like. So, why we're here? I don't mean philosophically in life. Why we're here? The World Cup of Beatles B-sides. Okay, now, first of all, I'm going to ask a question. And I'm going to do, just want to see what your answers are. So, I'm going to tell you the criteria for what songs have been included in this Beatles World Cup and which songs haven't. And I want you to try and guess how many songs that is. So, I've gone with the Beatles UK output. Okay, mainly because they're the releases that the Beatles themselves sanctioned. They wanted these songs to come out in these particular configurations. So I have picked here any song that the Beatles released in the UK as a B-side to a single during their sort of active years, 62 to 69, where that song didn't also appear on one of their studio albums. So how many songs do you think that is? Just use your fingers, use your toes, use whatever you want. I just want to see roughly what kind of answers we get in here about how many songs do you think are in this going to be in this World Cup, because we're going to start fairly soon. Have I heard the Les Claypool and Sean Lennon albums? Is that was it called the Claypool-Lennon Delirium, is it called? I've not heard much of them, but I was pretty familiar with Sean's previous band, the Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger. I saw them live, and I was just in front of the stage, about not much more than about 6 foot from Sean, watching him, and he was immense on guitar, and I was watching him thinking, I don't think your dad could do what you're doing there on guitar. He was really good. And then his solo albums as well, really good, especially Friendly Fire, I think, was a great, fantastic album. We've got some guesses coming in. 22, 20, 20, 18, 12, 26, 16, 17. I can tell you nobody has got it right so far. One of you is one out. Interesting. A lot of people think it's in the 20s or even the 30s. It's nowhere near. It's nowhere near that. Because once you discount double A sides, there was a few of those. Once you discount B sides that did actually make it onto an album, which is a few of them, you are left with. Has anybody got it yet? Nobody's got it yet. 25, 19, 21, 15. Still nobody's got it. The answer is 13. There are 13. I was surprised. I thought there would have been more. But there are only 13 songs that the Beatles put out during their active years that they only put out as a B-side to a single, and not in other sort of bigger things like albums and big EP packages, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's 13. Buddy, I think Buddy's questioning it. 13 question mark. Yeah, it's definitely 13. And I've got them here. I've got my trusty. This is the bowl I always use. This is off our weighing scales in the kitchen, and I've got 13 songs. You'll see what the 13 songs are as I pull them out to do the draw, which we're going to do very soon. Now, if any of you haven't done one of these World Cups with me before, let me just briefly explain how it works. So it's like a draw. It's like a knockout style draw, and I'm going to do the draw live, put it onto a spreadsheet, and then I'm going to give you a vote. So we'll have 2 songs pitted against each other. You're going to vote, give you a sort of a minute or so, and once we know which song's going to win, then that song goes through to the next round, and we do this until we have a winner. So again, before we start, let's have some predictions. So this is like a 2-pronged thing here. You've got to think A, what songs are going to be in here, and B, what song do you think is out of those? What song do you think is going to win? Let's have a look at your guesses as to what song is going to win this World Cup of Beatles B-sides, while I just wet my whistle a little bit. Yeah, Buddy, there's usually about a 15 to 20 second delay between me saying something and you seeing it at the other end. That's how that usually works. So, should have some... right, so David's thinking Rain will win. Rain, Inner Light, This Boy, Rain, I'm Down, Old Brown Shoe, Revolution. Well, luckily, these are all songs that are in it. This Boy, I Am the Walrus. Right, there's a few songs starting to be named now that aren't in it, and I'll explain why. I Am the Walrus is not in it because it was part of the Magical Mystery Tour EP. which I've got here. I've got a vinyl copy of it here. So I Am the Walrus isn't in it. The EP, it's either that disc or the other disc. I think somebody else also said Penny Lane. Penny Lane isn't in it because that was a double A side in the UK with Strawberry Fields Forever. So Penny Lane isn't in it either. You Know My Name, Look Up the Number, Don't Let Me Down, The Inner Light, Old Brown Shoe, right, okay. P.S. I Love You isn't in it, Daniel, because they then put it on Please Please Me. They decided to put it on their first album, so that isn't part of it. I really have tried to think this through, because I know how people love to say, you've got this wrong. I've really tried to not get it wrong, and I hope I haven't. So are we ready? Are we going to go with this? I have got, like I say, all 13 songs in here. Is Don't Let Me Down in it? Certainly is, yep. Criminally overlooked for the Let It Be album, and it was only a B-side to get back, so it is in. Beatle Boys watching Glasgow Rangers in the final. I think they might do reasonably well tonight. Christmas Time is Here Again. No, because it wasn't a B-side to a single during... I remember I said during the Beatles' active years. I know it was a B-side to Free as a Bird, wasn't it? But not during their active years. Okay. Right. Okay, so let me just set up the screen for... Here we go. All prepared. Right, a little bit of logistics for you. We've got 13. We've got to narrow that down to 8. So that means that we've got to have 3 songs that will automatically go through to the next round, and the other 10 will play off to make the other 5 places to make up 8. Maths. So I've got 3 places where songs will go through, and as I pick them out, they'll get slotted in there. So anyway, here are the first 2 that are going to go up against each other in the first round. Have I got 2 there? Yep. So we have got You Know My Name, Look Up the Number, which is going to play against Rain. Okay, so you don't need to tell me in the chat. I am going to do you a vote. For those of you that are familiar with how we do this, I'm going to do you a vote. So just give me a question. Give me a moment, I'm going to put You Know. I'm not going to type all of that out. So it's You Know My Name, you Look Up the Number versus Rain. Okay, that vote should be probably through before you hear me tell you that it's through. So you have a think about that while I do a little bit of admin here. You Know My Name is playing against Rain. Rain's got off to a good start. It's got 71% of the vote at the moment. It is a great song, isn't it? 82% now. I think you could argue it's one of Paul's best bass lines and one of Ringo's best drumming performances on a Beatles song. Criteria, Bradford lad. The criteria for this, just which is your favourite? Which is your favourite out of Rain or You Know My Name, Look Up the Number? And of course, in theory, You Know My Name, Look Up the Number isn't even a really song, but it is a lot of fun, isn't it? So I wouldn't be surprised by people who do vote for it. So make sure you're hitting the voting buttons for either Rain or You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds because Rain is absolutely battering it here. I'm going to end this poll because it's one-way traffic, basically. Rain has soared through to the quarterfinal. There it goes. Let me just check that you're seeing that. You can see that on screen, okay, can't you, what I'm typing in on the draw? So there was 81 people voted. Thank you very much. 85% of those voted for Rain. So that is through. Now, the next one is just to go straight through to the quarterfinals. We said we've got to put a few through so that we end up with 8 here. So I'm picking one at random. Straight through is I'm Down. Okay. So that is into the quarterfinal, where when we get there, it will play against Rain. That'll be an interesting matchup. They're two great songs. Right, okay, the next two. Let's pick two out of here, completely at random. Yeah, okay. You Know My Name Is So Silly. I reckon it could have been in the Ruttles. It's probably dafter than anything the Ruttles ever did, isn't it? Yes. Oh, hi, Chris. How are you doing? Rain, a banger, but gutted. You Know My Name Is Out. This is the savagery of a draw that involves Beatles songs. We've got Old Brown Shoe and This Boy here. That's going to be our next matchup. So let me get you a poll ready. For Old Brown Shoe, and I've already forgotten what the other one was. This Boy. Okay, your poll is through. Let's see how we do with this. I think this might be maybe a little. I know which one, a little bit closer. I know which one I would vote for. Absolutely. Absolutely, I'm certain. Fish pie. Do you know what? It's worth mentioning this at the moment. So Chris Shaw from I Am the Egg Pod. I've in the last few weeks I've been catching up with the I Am the Egg Pod podcasts. They did one a day for every day of the Get Back sessions with different guests coming in and talking about a specific day, and it was brilliant. And when I hear things like that, I just think, I couldn't do 10% of what those guests were doing on there. I'd be completely out of my depth, I think. But they're brilliant. If anybody's not seen the I Am the Egg Pod or seen or heard those podcasts, brilliant. Great guests and great topics. Anyway, this is closer. So at the moment, 56% of you are voting for This Boy. So yeah, this is close. So we're just going to let this have a little run. Good beer then. Yeah, because I keep forgetting things. As soon as I pull the drawer out, I forget what I've pulled out. It is a good beer. You love the guitar solo in Old Brown Shoe, says Beatle Boy. So you've gone for that. Fair enough. The harmonies in This Boy. Yeah, fantastic, Lena. Okay, it's still on 56% is This Boy. So I'm going to give this another 10 seconds because you've all had plenty of chance to vote. Get your voting quick if you haven't done. So yeah, I'm starting at 10. And 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll. End the poll. And I think This Boy has won that, but I'm going to wait for the official verdict. Yeah. 89 votes. We've had more votes coming in. It's going up good. 57% of you have voted for This Boy, which I love Old Brown Shoe. It's great, but This Boy is, to me, another level up. It's one of my favourite Beatles songs, so I'm really pleased that that's gone through. Okay, thank you everybody. Right, so Chris, give me a shout. By all means, let's have a chat about this. I feel I may be out of my depth, though. This is to go through to the next round automatically again. We've got a space for the quarterfinals, and it is The Inner Light. George's Indian classic is going straight through to the quarterfinals. So now we've got a proper first round draw. We need two. We've got one there. We've got another one there. One thing I like about This Boy is that that video of George in, what was it, about 74, 75, where he's been shown the young Beatles doing This Boy, and he's just, you can tell he's laughing at it, but you can tell really, he knows how good it was, but laughing at his younger self. So anyway, we've got, it's pretty much This Boy Part 2, Yes It Is, versus She's a Woman. Admittedly, not a very good-looking woman, but that's definitely a woman there. So, Yes It Is versus She's a Woman. Let me get you a poll for that, and we'll see how this goes. Yes, it is. If I allow for the time difference, I think that should be through by now, by the time you hear me say this, even though I'm still typing it. Okay, there's your poll. So let's see how this goes while I get it onto here. She's a woman. Yes, it is. Okay, how are we doing? She's a Woman has got off to a strong start. 75% of the vote so far, but it's early days yet. That can all change. We've seen those swing round from early sort of one-sided votes. Old Brown Shoe blows this boy away. Well, not in this poll, it didn't, George. This time it's been blown away. Another George song, Blow Away. It's how we're doing here. 59% for She's a Woman. It's doing okay. It's got itself a little bit of a decent lead here. She's a Woman is an underrated classic. Chris, could you post a link? Yeah, Chris, please feel free to post a link to guide people to your excellent content, because it's something that people will love if they don't know about it. I'm sure of that. Jason thinks it should be close. Yeah, it's still She's a Woman has got a healthy lead at the moment, but it's not overturnable. I love them both, but Woman is slightly better. Yeah, I think it certainly seems to be hanging on to its lead. So 60% to 40% at the moment. So let's give it another 10 seconds. Midge, more surprising results. Yeah. Okay. I think they've all gone the way I would have expected so far. 5 seconds left, by the way. 3, 2, 1. End the poll. Oh, buddy. Goodbye, buddy. Thank you for joining. Hope you can catch the rest of it on catch up. So anyway, that 95 votes were up to now. Excellent. She's a Woman won that with 60% of the votes. So that is through to the quarterfinal. Excellent. Right. Okay. The next two to face each other off with. Dean says, hi Andrew, really enjoyed your Paul is Dead video, especially the sketch at the start. Thank you. Paul McCartney died in 1966 and it's been covered up ever since. I didn't plan that. I thought the sort of person who would do that wouldn't plan it, they wouldn't script it, they wouldn't think about it, they just do it. So I just did it and made it up as I recorded it. We've got here, oh my God, heavyweight clash. This could be the final, but it's not. It's a first round clash. You ready for this? Don't Let Me Down versus Revolution. Ouch. This is why sometimes I seed these draws so that big guns are kept apart from each other at the start. But I haven't done that today. Matthew, I agree with Matthew. Don't forget to like the video too. Yeah, please. If you can give this video a thumbs up, that'd be great, because YouTube thinks, oh, people like this. We'll recommend it to them, which would be great. So we've got, I don't know. Well, I mean, Don't Let Me Down is probably one of the favourites for the title, but so is Revolution. So your vote's coming through, and good luck, everybody, with this one. Rather you than me. But remember, and I think we've had it once. If any of these end in a tie, then I will do the casting voters with me. So I don't get to vote on any of these, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a few pained people, I think, here, who just aren't quite sure where to go here. Oh, just one before you absolutely have to go, buddy. Okay, fair enough. Well, we've left you a tricky one to be going on with. Kev's gone for Revolution. Don't Let Me Down has got 61% of the vote so far. Interesting. Fantastic bass work on Don't Let Me Down, definitely. Was Revolution the B-side to Hey Jude? It was indeed, Jason. Yes, it was. Of course, the heavier, rockier version, not the version that appears on the White Album. Revolution is my entrance song if I was a snooker player, says Beatle Boy. Excellent. Love me snooker. I did play a couple of days ago. I try and play once or twice every week at the moment. Can we have a double B-side winner? Well, if that means that it's getting you out of committing to something here. No, come on, commit to it. David doesn't think any of his choices have gone through yet. The Revolution where it all goes weird. It's brilliant. Is that where I think it's take 18, isn't it? That's in the White Album anniversary set. Absolutely fantastic, and you start to see the seed of what became Revolution 9. Take 20 is even better. Unfortunately, they missed that off the box set. But if you ever get a chance to see Revolution Take 20, so I think it's on YouTube. That they've taken it again a step further towards Revolution 9, and it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So how's this going? 60% for Don't Let Me Down. So I'm going to give it another 10 seconds. If it could have been the promo version of Revolution, it would have been an easy pick. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1, and end the poll. I've not even got round to typing this in. In all the excitement of two favourites being drawn together. Revolution is dumped out in the first round. Who'd have thought that? Because Don't Let Me Down got 60% of the votes. We're over 100 votes now. Excellent. Don't Let Down. Don't Let Down. Come on. Type. I've not had that much beer. Don't Let Me Down is through to the next round. Revolution is out. Did somebody say, do I prefer Revolution or Revolution 1? I think I prefer Revolution. I think I prefer the rockier version. I think it was certainly the right choice to rock it up so that it could get as a B-side. So what's next in the draw? Next is another one to go. It's the last one to go straight through to the quarterfinals. So just picking one out here. Thank You Girl makes it straight through to the quarterfinals, whilst Revolution gets dumped out in the first round. But that's how it goes. You know, it was this kind of thing that led to the situation where sometime in New York City got to the semi-final of my World Cup of John Lennon albums. But also because I do enjoy the album as well. That was a tough choice, Ruby. It was tough. You voted for Don't Let Me Down. Revolution out, yeah. It can go to VAR, but VAR will overrule it. And well, no, it won't overrule it. It'll back it up and say, no, it didn't get enough votes. Right, so we should have 2 left in here, and we have. And these are the last first round matches. So one of them is the controversial one that. Why has he put that in there? So we've got I'll Get You, which is playing against, and if you've got any queries, I'll explain why it's here, Baby You're a Rich Man. So I must admit, when I was starting to put this World Cup of B-sides together, that isn't a song that instantly went in my mind as being one that would be eligible. But remember the criteria, songs that the Beatles only put out in the UK on a B-side during their active years. B-side to All You Need Is Love. It wasn't, the Magical Mystery Tour album didn't exist over here until 1976. The Magical Mystery Tour EP didn't have that song on because it's not in the movie. Therefore, it was only ever a B-side in the UK during the Beatles' reign. So, that's why that's in there. So anyway, I'm waffling. I'll Get You versus Baby You're a Rich Man. So let's get you a poll. I'll Get You, and I'm not going to type all that. I'm just going to type Baby Rich Man. So your poll is through for that. Let's see how that goes. What have I missed on the poll? It is like the FA Cup third round. Absolutely fish pie. It is. That was a good game on Saturday. I enjoyed that. Not bad for a 0-0. Let me fill this in on here. Did I hear somebody say they can't even remember how Thank You Girl goes? I mean, it's not the greatest song they ever did, is it? But this is I'll Get You. And Baby, You're a Rich Man. How's it going? How's the voting going? 76% have gone for Baby You're a Rich Man. I don't think that's any particular surprise so far. The intro to Baby You're a Rich Man is amazing, George. It really is. And there's some great bass. There's some great sounds on that song. that you just think for 1967, they're great sounds to get on a record. So it's a great one to listen to. How does it feel, Andrew, to be one of the beautiful people? I would not know. I absolutely wouldn't know that. So anyway, 74% for Baby or Rich Man at the moment. I don't particularly see that changing much. So we'll just give it another few seconds before we make a start on the quarterfinal. Yeah, okay. I'm going to give this another 10 seconds because I'll Get You is not going to catch this up. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll. Interesting from Chris Taylor there. I always preferred I'll Get You to She Loves You. Interesting. Baby or Rich Man got 74% of the vote there. So it's through to the quarterfinal. Okay. Let's have a moment. Let's have a second. Quarterfinals. There's some great songs here. In fact, are they all great songs? I think they probably are. I think "Thank You Girl" is certainly batting above its station there a little bit. Andrew, what do I think about the band The Analogues? I don't know much about them. I believe that they are a Beatles tribute band from the, I want to say, Sweden, Norway, Denmark kind of area of the world. Is that right? I've heard good things about them, but I don't know much about them myself. Is there any truth to English people having bad teeth? Well, if I'm an example, then yes. It's a great stereotype. Anyway, quarterfinals. Are we ready for this? Our first quarterfinal. Let me just check you can see that okay on your screen. I think you can. Yep, good. Right, so we've got Rain versus I'm Down. Let me get you a poll started for this. And we're going to see, again, it's, as always on this, it's which is your favourite, basically. So your poll is through. These are two fantastic songs. I'm intrigued to see how this one is going to go. I'm not even 100% sure how I would vote on this one. I think I know how I would vote, but they're both great. Craig says, Baby or Rich Man sounded best on the German Hortzu True Stereo. Have I heard it? No, I'm not. I don't tend to massively go in for all different, like different countries' pressings and that. So no, there are people probably better placed to know that kind of thing. Those of you that know John Heaton, for example, I would imagine John Heaton would be all over something like that. He's very good on different pressings from different countries, but it's not something I massively go in for. How are we doing with this poll? Rain has got 74% of the vote. That's interesting. I thought it would be closer than this for this one. I'm Down is great, but a rewrite of Little Richard. Rain is more original. I think that's a very, very valid point there, David. That sounds... Yeah, you can't argue with that. Rain and Don't Let Me Down for the final, says Rock. Well, they're in opposite halves of the draw, so it's entirely possible. Farrell, you cannot believe Rain was a B-side. I mean, that's just how good they were at that point, wasn't it? We've got Paperback Writer and Rain. Now we're not going to put them on Revolver. Let's have them as a single. How good would Revolver have been with those two songs on? I'm going to give it another 10 seconds because I think Rain is definitely going to win this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll. End that poll. Well, Rain's gone through there. We'll see what the final percentage was in a moment, but that's pretty clear cut. Rain got 74% of the vote. I thought it would have been closer. I probably would have voted for Rain there, but I didn't think it'd be that one-sided. Woodland Goblin, Rain is your least listened to Beatles song. Interesting. Okay, what's next anyway? Another two fantastic songs. This Boy versus The Inner Light. I love The Inner Light, and I love This Boy. I would be sorry to see either of them go. Paul McCartney said that Inner Light's one of his favourite Beatles songs. Interesting, considering he's not even on it. I don't think he's on it anyway, is he? But he also says, You Know My Name, Look Up the Number is one of his most favourite Beatles songs as well. I think he probably goes by memories of recording the session, and that must have been a fun session to do. Rain is every Oasis song, says Matthew. I know what you mean. Well, have you heard Liam Gallagher's new single? I've heard it a couple of times on the radio this week, and it has got pretty much the Tomorrow Never Knows drum beat. But I'm not knocking Liam there. I love Liam. Brilliant at what he does. But it's quite funny to hear how he's taken the Tomorrow Never Knows drum beat pretty much. This boy's got 59%, so it is winning. It's closer than I thought it might have been. I'm surprised it's closer than the last one. There's not been a very close poll yet, where we're threatening to get me involved as a casting vote. Do I prefer The Inner Light or Within You Without You? Says Elliot. That's a tough one. I think Within You Without You is the better song. I think it's the better made song. But do I prefer it to The Inner Light? I don't know that I do. I don't think there's much in it, to be honest. I really, really love them both. If I had to go with one, I don't know, honestly. When I want to go with The Inner Light, but then I feel bad for Within You Without You, so I'm really not sure, actually. Dean, you can't beat a bit of an Oasis binge. Brilliant. Right, okay, let's give this another 10 seconds. If you want to vote for The Inner Light, you better do it very, very quickly, because you're running out of time here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end the poll. George's B-sides aren't doing well. No. So how did that go? 59% went for This Boy. That's going to be a very interesting semi-final against Rain, is that one? We'll worry about that one in a few minutes' time. Okay, so now we have got the next one, which is She's a Woman versus Don't Let Me Down. Now, I got accused on a recent World Cup of swaying the voting by saying how I would vote. So I better be careful what I say. But I would like to think that none of you are going to vote a particular way just because I say that that's how I'd vote. I think you've got more about you than that. But surely Don't Let Me Down's going to win this. Yeah, it's on 90% of the vote. She's a Woman is great. I suppose it's like that earlier comment about I'm Down being a bit like Little Richard. I guess She's a Woman is almost like that, but it's done but it's much more Beatley-fied. It's much more the Beatles' own style. But again, it's Paul doing that kind of. Is it Paul doing that kind of voice? I might have gone down a path that I don't agree with myself here, to be honest. I'll shut up because I'm even disagreeing with myself. George says, do I listen to the Beatles channel on Sirius XM in England? I don't even know if we can get that over here. I'm not sure that it's available. Have I included the B-sides of Free as a Bird and Real Love? I haven't, Aunt Mimi, because my criteria was during the Beatles' active, sort of 62 to 69, 70, whatever your cut-off point is, their career. While all four of them were there. So no, I thought about it and then immediately thought, no, I'm not going to do that. David, I don't know how or why you've done. I don't know how you've done that, but well done. It's highlighted your question in yellow on my screen. I don't know if it's done that for everybody. Here's a controversial question: did McCartney write the better A sides and Lennon write the better B sides? I'd have to have a think about that. I mean, I did notice when I was putting this together yesterday, all these songs, you have got a chunk of a period around about 65, 66 where there was a lot of double A-sides, and that's because the quality of the two songs were just so good. You just couldn't put one of them, We Can Work It Out and, God, what was it with? I can't remember now. Day Tripper. How do you choose between those? Yellow Submarine and Eleanor Rigby. All right, you can say Eleanor Rigby's the better song, but Yellow Submarine would have had more commercial appeal, I think, in those days. So, interesting. At 4th Street Studios, you think Liam Gallagher's doing a John Lennon cover on his upcoming album? Of which song? Do you know? Have I heard this? Oh, is it something from Walls and Bridges era? It's vaguely coming back to me now. Don't Let Me Down has got 88% of the vote here. Excellent. Right. Okay. It's going to win that, isn't it? Let's give it another 10 seconds because it's got that. She's a Woman ain't coming back from 12% of the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the poll. So, how was that done? Don't Let Me Down got 87% of the vote. Absolute landslide there. And it's into the semi-finals, as it was always likely to be. Inexplicably, now we have Thank You made it through. It got the luck of the draw there. But let's give it its chance. It hasn't got, we might find that you all absolutely love it. But it's up against Baby You're a Rich Man. Let's see how it does. Your poll is through now. Excuse me. Ringo doesn't have a B-side then. No, I mean, he had Yellow Submarine as a double A-side, as we were just saying a minute or two ago. But in the UK, no, he didn't. Dean, I need to get on this Liam Gallagher album because the previous two, is it previous two? I've had pre-ordered for ages, but I haven't done anything about this one yet. So I'd better get on that. So yeah, Michael, what goes on? Yeah, Ringo's probably had B-sides on all sorts of records in other countries because I'm focusing on UK here. That's why it's not in here. Wow, Neil, Baby You're a Rich Man may well be in your bottom 10 Beatles songs. Interesting. Anyway, it's a very kind of unique Beatles song, isn't it? There's not really much else that's like it at all. 82% for Baby You're a Rich Man. T-Bone says, how did I choose between Rain and Paperback Writer for A and B? I didn't. The Beatles did. The Beatles chose Paperback Writer as the A-side and Rain as the B-side, so that's what I've gone with. Right, well, this poll is just about all over, isn't it? Baby You're a Rich Man is on 82%, so we'll just give it another few seconds. Yeah, Mark Ringo got Matchbox on EPs, so I deliberately discounted EPs here, I thought, because they're kind of a bigger thing than a single. Maybe not in terms of sales, but in terms of quantity. So I did exclude EPs from this. Okay, so I've already given you longer than I said I was going to give you on that poll, so I'm going to end that now. And Baby You're a Rich Man is through to the semi-final. Interesting. So, we've got, before we do the semi-final, which is Rain, This Boy, Don't Let Me Down, and Baby You're a Rich Man, is that the four that we think probably from the start would have made it through? How's the look of the draw changed things? I think the look of the draw was very unkind to Revolution. That could have easily made it through. I would like to think that probably, given a better draw, I'm Down might have made it through. Old Brown Shoe might have done well as well, potentially. Yes, so Lena says, I always think Hey Bulldog is a B-side. It just feels like one, doesn't it? It certainly does feel like one. But it wasn't one, not in this country anyway. Yes, Liam Gallagher cover of Bless You. Yes, I thought it was something Walls and Bridges era. But it is on his new album as well. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. Yes, I need to get on with pre-ordering that. all Lennon's. Oh, is it that? Well, I hadn't even considered the logistics of this. Rain, This Boy, Don't Let Me Down, Baby You're a Rich Man. It is indeed all Lennon songs, which is interesting because I'm trying to think. There was a World Cup that I did a while ago where I think it was all Paul songs in the semi-final. I wonder if that was Ace. I wonder if that was Beatles singles. Could it have been something like Let It Be, Hey Jude, whatever? I can't remember. I can't remember. Oh, T-Bone, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Much obliged. You are a gent. Thank you. John thinks that Don't Let Me Down is going to win this. Well, let's crack on, shall we, and find out. Instead of me prattling on like I have been doing. So let's get you your poll for the first semi-final. Neil, I'll come to your question about I'll Get You in a moment. I'm just setting up this poll, which should be very interesting, I think. Rain versus This Boy. Very interesting indeed. That should be through now for you. And let's see how this one goes. I'm intrigued to see how this one goes. So Neil said, where was I'll Get You? Well, let's just have a little review, shall we, of where was I'll Get You. It was in the first round. There you go. It was the very last matchup in the first round. It got knocked out by Baby You're a Rich Man. So, yes, it was there. Right, how's this going? Interesting. 76% of you so far for Rain. I thought it would have been closer than this. I thought this might have been our one that was like 51-49 or something like that. But no, Rain is doing really well here. Interesting. Dean says, I still find it amazing how close some of the lads' solo songs came to being Beatles songs. Instead, I couldn't imagine All Things Must Pass or Teddy Boy being like that. Now, that's actually, it's an interesting point, isn't it? Like, make up a Beatles album. This could be a video at some point. I'm getting a video idea here. A fantasy Beatles albums of songs that actually were first practiced and performed during the Beatles sessions. But so yeah, you've got Teddy Boy, Junk, All Things Must Pass, Not Guilty by George, Circles by George, Another Day, Gimme Some Truth, Child of Nature, which went through various guises before it became Jealous Guy. There's all sorts, isn't there? And a few more of George's as well, no doubt. So anyway, how's this going? 69% have gone for Rain so far. Let's just give that a few more seconds. T-Bone, Paul's bass playing on Rain. Wow, that is if there was three letters to sum up Paul's bass playing on Rain, wow would be a good 3 letters to choose. If this was the 70s or 80s, This Boy would have beaten Rain in a poll. I think that's a good point. I think it was probably more well known, and probably as well Rain maybe sounds a bit more modern, you know, or more bands in recent history have sounded like Rain than have sounded like This Boy, maybe. Again, maybe I'm prattling a bit there. Let's give this another 5 seconds, but I think it's done. I think we know which is going through here. 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll. So, the Rain has got 69% of the vote. 101 people voted. Thank you very much. You are all very excellent people. And Rain is through to the final of this all John Lennon semi-final lineup. What's this, Justin? Roadie Rory's message is still on your video just above your head. What's that? Sorry. Has that done it? Has that cleared it? I have to do 10 things at once doing this, and sometimes I forget that I've put a message up on screen and then I haven't gone and got rid of it. Great. Hi, Graham. You've got a second confirmation from Amazon about the Get Back DVD. Yeah, presumably yours says 11th of July, hopefully, like mine does. Anyway, we're on to the second semi-final now. which is Don't Let Me Down versus Baby You're a Rich Man. So let me get you a poll for that. Again, I'm not going to type all that. I'm going to type Baby Rich Man. That's through now for you. I mean, if I had to bet my house on the result of this, I don't think I'd end up homeless. But we shall see. Again, I might not be judging the room correctly. Oh, I am. 81% so far for Don't Let Me Down. But it's early days yet. That could change. Does it tell me how many people have voted so far? Yeah, 65 of you have voted so far. Come on, we can get this over 100. I'm sure we can. That message is cleared now. Thank you, Fish Pie Sky. Thank you. Okay, Baby You're a Rich Man has got a bit of a comeback here. It's because Don't Let Me Down is down to 77% of the votes. But come on, let's have these votes through. We've had 86 votes so far. I would love to see over 100 votes on this semi-final. T-Bone's gone for Don't Let Me Down. As indeed have 76% of you at the moment. And that's out of 91 people. Now 95 people. The backing vocals by Paul on Don't Let Me Down are amazing. They absolutely are. Yes. It's great that in those sort of last few months of the Beatles that we did get some sort of real good harmonies again like that, and I think Two of Us is brilliant for that as well. Oh, we've got 102 votes. Excellent. I was hoping we'd get over 100 for that. Brilliant. Right, so I'll give it another 5 seconds because this one is over. 3, 2, 1, and what have I just pressed there? Oh, yes, I did press the right button. Don't Let Me Down got 74% of the vote, so I don't think it's the biggest surprise in the world that Don't Let Me Down has made the final, as it richly deserves to, I think. Yeah, T-Bone. Thank you. That's a great idea. Like I said, yeah, YouTube really likes it when people do that because it thinks people like this video. We'll show it to more people. So that would be wonderful if you do that. Thank you. So we know our final. 2 absolutely corking B-sides. Rain and Don't Let Me Down. Justin says, do I like the take that's on the Get Back album? Not as much. I think I do enjoy the Get Back album as an interesting sort of historical look what you could have had kind of listen. But generally speaking, when I listen to it, I kind of think, why did he pick that particular take when there's so many better ones available? I get a bit confused by some of it, but it is I'm really glad over the last few months that we've had a proper copy of that album, finally. Beatle Boy, with all this voting, you've got blisters on your fingers. Well, only one more round to go. We're into the final, folks. It is. Let's give them their full sort of titles here. We have Rain from 1966, the B-side to Paperback Writer, versus from 1969, Don't Let Me Down, the B-side to Get Back. Will contest the final of the Beatles World Cup. No, the World Cup of Beatles B-sides. Your poll is through. Enjoy. Please vote. Let's definitely see if we can beat this 100. Let's get over 100 votes again for the final. Come on. If I was one of the Beatles, would I want my song on a single or an LP? I think at the time, probably because of the way that the singles market was and how important it was, I think getting an A-side on a single was big, wasn't it? I mean, it took George till 1969 to get the A-side on a single over here. So, yeah, I'd probably go for a single, I think, at the time. Now it would be album because I couldn't give a stuff about the singles charts. Don't Let Me Down has got 55% of the vote so far. Okay, so it's close. Can Rain pull it back? Can you force me into the casting vote, I wonder? Probably not at the moment. I think too many of you have probably voted for the remaining voters to make a difference. I don't think so. But Don't Let Me Down has got 57% of the votes at the moment, 58%. 104 of you have voted, which is fantastic. Thank you. Rain is Germany, but Don't Let Me Down is Brazil. Okay, I'm not sure whether that's in reference to anything that's been discussed previously. I'm not sure. So I'm going to give it another 10 seconds. I think this one is done. Rain has more complexity. Every time I listen to it, I find something new. It is a very complex song and a brilliant song. I said 10, so it's now 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll. Okay, I'll get you the official vote in a moment. I'm going to stick around. I'm not going to disappear just yet, so we can stick around. We can have a chat about a few bits and pieces. Any questions you've got, any comments you've got, we'll do all that. I'm going to stick around for a while. You don't need to disappear just yet, unless you need to disappear just now. So anyway, the final result of that was 111 of you voted. Thank you very much. Don't Let Me Down got 56% of the vote, and therefore, Don't Let Me Down, which to be honest was probably the bookies' favourite before we started, has won the Beatles World Cup of B-Sides. But I think, can we just take a moment to say well done to John Lennon for getting all 4 semi-finalists. You could argue that's amazing, or you could go with the point that was made earlier of, well, there were B-sides. Paul McCartney had the better A-sides. But these songs, let's just have a look at those semi-finalists. They would all have been absolutely worthy A-sides. Don't Let Me Down, Rain, what were the other two? This Boy. Baby You're a Rich Man, I think, would have been punching above its weight if it had been a single, an A-side in 67. But I suppose it's possible. But yeah, great songs. Absolutely great songs. Rainblaze is shocked and appalled. Can you tell us why, Rainblaze? Please tell us why you're shocked and appalled. Block Fog, thank you very much. That is amazingly kind of you. Thank you. Let's have a look at your comment. You need to listen to Everyday Chemistry. It's the greatest Beatles solo mashup ever made. It's almost as if they made an album after the breakup. Everyday Chemistry. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to open myself up a little notepad file on my laptop and I'm going to type Everyday Chemistry because I'll remember that then. I'll see it and I'll think, oh yeah. Because I've never heard of this. And I'm interested in checking it out. If you mean mashup as in the traditional mashing a few songs together, I love a mashup. Really love a mashup. Some of my favourite ones, there's a real good one of that mashes up the Beach Boys. I guess I just wasn't made for these times with Backseat of My Car. And they've called it I Guess I Just Wasn't Made for the Backseat of My Car. And that's a really good one. And I love a mashup. So I'm going to, I've made a note of that. I'm going to check that out. Thank you. Peter says, congratulations, Don't Let Me Down. You should never have been a B-side anyway. I think there's a lot of validity to that point. The fact that it was a B-side meant that under the Beatles' own rules of we don't put singles on albums. It's crazy that song is not on the Let It Be album. What won the A-sides? Was it Hey Jude? I can't remember. I was only the host. It might have done. Was it Hey Jude? If anybody can remember, let us know. What did Rainblaze tell us why he was both shocked and appalled? I say he. I hope I haven't got you wrong there. No, we don't know yet. Bradford lad, thank you for joining from America. See you later. It is so fantastic. It's like mixing solo material, instrumental and vocals. Okay, well, I'm going to give it a go. Something won the A-sides, is that right? Oh, Bradford lad. Thank you. You were very kind. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Yorkshireman in America. Until next time. Nobody can remember whether it was Hey Jude or something. Well, people can remember, but we've got a difference of opinion. I can't remember. It might have been something, actually. Yeah, I think George did very well, didn't he, on that? If they put Don't Let Me Down on Let It Be without changing the track list, what song would you replace it with? What song would I get rid of? Well, it would be a John song. Let's do Like for Like. Probably Dig It. It's a fragment. You know, if Dig It had never existed on there and we'd suddenly got, or if it hadn't been on there and then suddenly we'd got it 25 years later on Anthology, I don't think anybody would have been saying, oh my God, this should have been on the album. It's amazing. So yeah, I'll go with Dig It. Mark, yes, the mashup of Tomorrow Never Knows and Within You Without You on the Love album is superb. I love the Love album. I'd love a Love 2. Let's do that again. Some of the mashups that are on there are fantastic. I love the Octopus's Garden one is great. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Pete, you would get rid of Maggie. I presume you're saying you would get rid of Maggie May. I really like the version that we got in the Let It Be box set. The version of Maggie May. It's kind of a much more in the sort of traditional style, but then it goes into the Fancy Me Chances With You. I'd have liked it if Let It Be had that version on. That would have been great. Thank you, Farrell. Right, people, if you want to get any sort of comments, questions, anything you want to talk about through, and we'll deal with that while I am here. So just a reminder, it's really busy at the moment with videos because I've got this. I mentioned earlier, for those of you who were on earlier, I got a package today from Strawberry Field in Liverpool. Something that I ordered a few days ago, a CD, Paul McCartney related, and I've done a video on that I'm going to get live tomorrow. So if you want to see that, watch out for that. I'm also going to be doing a video. I haven't done it yet, but I've got something very special here. Some of you will have this. Some of you won't have this. I've wanted this for over 30 years, and finally, a few days ago, I got the Beatles box. You know, for those 1987 CDs. Finally got it. I've been wanting that for so long. I'm going to do a video about that. It's called, I found the actual real name for that it was advertised at is the Beatles Connoisseur's Cabinet. Sounds posh when you say it like that. So I'm really pleased to have got that, but that's all I'm showing you of that. I'm going to do a video about that and kind of the history of it very soon. So that's a little sneak peek of that. I've also got that episode 6 of the McCartney album rankings, the bonus episode with 32 additional albums. A couple of people have actually mentioned an idea to me, and I'd like to see. I might do a yes or no poll to see whether you're interested in this. So I don't like to presume, but presumably because it's people who watch my videos on here, a lot of you will have seen these McCartney videos that I've been doing just recently, the album rankings. What I'm thinking of doing is, now that I've done the McCartney one, I may do George, I may do John, I may do Ringo, but it would have to be the albums that I know of Ringo's. I may then throw all those 4 together to make like one massive overall enjoyable album ranking of Beatles solos. I might even then do the Beatles and throw that into the mix as well and have one uber ultra Beatles, John, Paul, George, Ringo album ranking, start to finish, bottom to top. If that's of interest, let me know. This is where I might regret this, because loads of you might say no, and I'll be sat here looking like an idiot. If that's of interest, let me know, because it's a big undertaking and I don't want to do it. The reason I'm asking is I don't want to do this if people aren't interested in it, because it's going to be a big, big task. So it's only kind of really if people are interested, and I know that they're going to be interested, I will do this. But this is something that will probably take, it will probably be videos over a period of several weeks, maybe even months to do this, slotted in with all of the videos that come along at the time. So, yeah, let me know. Rock says, just listen to the start of Everyday Chemistry. It gave you a headache. Interesting. Well, that probably makes me even a bit more intrigued to have a listen. Was it just on YouTube? Is that where it was? George says, there was a Love 2. Was there? Well, I mean, in terms of a Love album, I know they kind of reworked it. They reworked the show. I know there was also some bonus tracks that were iTunes only. But an actual second Love album, I mean. Matthew, thank you from the Peak District. Cheers. Nice area of the country there. We also get, Block Frog, we also get a snippet of Carnival of Light at the end of something on the Love album. Do we know that? Because we could also say that it's rumoured we get a snippet of Carnival of Light on the Liverpool Sound Collage album. But again, it's a rumour. But because we don't know what it sounds like, we don't know whether that's it. If you've got a bit more information on that, Block Frog, then please tell me. Because I wouldn't be surprised if there's all sorts of little bits of Carnival of Light out there on things, especially things that Paul has done. And we just don't know because we didn't know that that's what it was. Could he have slipped some of it into McCartney 3 Imagined, for example? Who knows? Who knows? I think I've missed a lot of comments, but I'm going to go down to the bottom. Like I always say, if I've missed your comment, please ask it again, because I might have missed it in all the hullabaloo. Was there a Love 2? No, there wasn't, George. No, there hasn't been a Love 2 album, but I'm saying I would love there to be one. Thank you, Seal Decker. Thank you for being here, as you regularly are. Can anybody help Graham out here? He bought the Beatles 3-inch CD singles when they were released. EMI decided to re-release them inside a blue box, but he hasn't got the box. Does anybody know where he can get one from? Yeah, Block Frog, I would love to hear Carnival of Light. It's probably awful, but I just want to know that it's awful. Hi, Miz. How you doing? You okay? Is that you just joining us? Wedding album 6-disc set, Jimmy Nicol. You are a brave person if you're going to sit through that. Live chat on Extra Texture and Dark Horse, please. Ooh, I don't know if I could. I'm kind of warming to Extra Texture a little bit, especially side A. But overall, to me, they are the 2 albums of George's that I really don't take too much enjoyment from. Which is my favourite of the songs they did with Sheridan singing. Well, I mean, the obvious answer is My Bonnie, isn't it? But I quite like this When the Saints Go Marching In, just the way he hammed it up. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. That was interesting. What's the bigger mistake, says Lena? Another Day not being on Ram, or Mull of Kintyre not being on London Town? Oh, interesting, because both songs... I mean, you could absolutely imagine Mull of Kintyre would have fitted so well on London Town, wouldn't it? And Another Day would have fitted so well on Ram. I don't know. They both would have definitely. All right, I'm going to say the bigger omission is Mull of Kintyre from London Town, only because I think that had it been on there, it would have made a bigger difference to the album. I think Ram is good enough anyway that it can quite easily cope without with the loss of Another Day. It doesn't suffer. So I think London Town probably would have benefited more than Ram would. So that's why I'm going to say that. Well, Jimmy Nicol, a Thrillington 7-disc set. I'm all in for that. I'm absolutely all in for that. Oops. And Miz, yeah, You on Extra Texture. That is my favourite song on there. Definitely. Oh, I didn't realise that poll was still on there. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. That's gone. That's freed the screen up a bit, hasn't it? Thank you, John. Thank you for being here. I've just remembered I can highlight these comments now, so I'll start using that particular feature. What have we got? Interesting from Graham. I had an email from a friend in America about John's Sometime in New York coming soon. Interesting. Is this friend? I mean, obviously, we're not asking you to name this friend, because insiders, they only remain insiders by keeping themselves, by doing what they're supposed to do. But is it somebody who would know? Is it somebody who is involved? It'd be interesting to know. Hi Claire. Is Get Back being released on DVD? It is, but it does seem that they've not. The links aren't all out there yet. But the Beatles themselves finally, about 4 hours ago, finally actually announced this. I saw on Facebook. After I did my video yesterday, and the Beatles announced it today, but they did say it's coming on Blu-ray and DVD, but I just think not all the links are up yet, so it will be coming. Am I a fan of Eurovision, and if so, what did I think of the competition this year? I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Eurovision, but I do always seem to end up watching it. I usually watch the voting. I do like the voting process, especially the way they do the voting now. Is whoever came up with the revamped voting process is a genius, because it is brilliant how they do the voting now. I ended up watching pretty much the whole thing on Saturday night. So I either wanted us to win, or I wanted us to come last on 0 points, like we did last year. So it was interesting. It's fun, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan. Lena says, do I reckon the Give My Regards to Broad Street movie will ever get a proper re-release? I really hope so. I'd love to see an archive collection of Give My Regards to Broad Street. It would feel fairly pointless if it didn't have the movie with it. So as I understand it, I can't remember who's got the rights, but I think it's some other company that's got the rights. So if Paul could do a deal, I mean, whoever's got the rights to Give My Regards to Broad Street are not doing anything with it at the moment. It can't be making them any money. So if there's an option to get it into an archive collection and actually earn some money off it, why wouldn't you do that if you held the rights to it? Because, you know, when's it being shown on telly? When's it being sold on DVD? Nobody's earning any money from that film. So let's get it out. I forgot I have a poll running. How's that going? What was even the question? Oh, did you want me to do the... do I want to carry on with what I've just done for Paul McCartney? In terms of rankings, do John, George, Ringo, and then even the Beatles, and throw the whole and have a massive ranking. 88% of you said yes. 11% of you, thank you for being honest. Okay, if the will is there, I need content. I can't run a YouTube channel without content. So if you want me to do that, that's an awful lot of work that's just come my way. That'll be fun. Interesting. Okay, let's do it. Mike, yeah, it's often nothing to do with the music. I mean, we've come last often in the last few years. We all know why. They all hate us. This year, all of a sudden, I'm not quite sure why. They don't hate us so much. I'm sure it'll be back to normal next year. But it is, very much, which countries are going to give 12 points to which countries. Yeah, it's... Why is Australia included? No idea. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's not in Europe on my map anyway. Any final questions and comments? Keep them coming through, because I will be doing a few more minutes. I'm getting tired now. It's nearly 15 hours since I started work this morning, so I'm a bit knackered, and I want to go and chill out for a bit. Watch a bit of telly before I go to bed. It's the last ever episode of Derry Girls tonight, so I want to watch Derry Girls before I go to bed. Because that's going to be good. Yeah, Miz, you are loading me up with work. But yeah, like I say, what's a YouTube channel if it hasn't got content to put out? So that's given me something to really get my teeth into over the next few weeks and months. So that's good. Mike, I also don't wish to get political. I also think you may be right there with that, potentially. Justin says, do I listen to more CD or vinyl at home? Probably more often. Well, I don't listen to CDs. Let's put it like that. I am not going to go and get a CD and take that out and put it in a CD player. All my CDs are ripped losslessly onto a music server. That music server plays to my streamer, which is there, and then that's linked up to my hi-fi system. So it's kind of is it digital streaming or vinyl? And I probably do more digital, just about. But if I'm sat at the other end of my room, over there in my big red chair, looking this way, and I'm relaxing for the evening, then I'm going to put vinyl on pretty much all the time. Thank you, Fish Pie, Sky. Thank you for joining. Thank you for contributing. Am I a postman? No, I'm not a postman. That's me and Mr. Mayo you're thinking of, the recently retired. He was a postman. Rory, do I think Paul will duet with John at Glastonbury? Well, he'll do the I've Got a Feeling that he's doing on the current tour, won't he? He'll have John on the screen. 100%. There's no doubt that that's going to happen. No doubt at all. Lena says, what's my favourite compilation of solo Beatles material? I picked up Pure McCartney recently and loved it. Well, without wishing to give away much from my bonus episode of the McCartney album rankings that includes compilations, what I will say is that by far my favourite, and I've listened to it again today, first time in a long time, is All the Best. Very, very important album to me. That's the album that got me into Paul McCartney. So it would be that. Slava, does my streamer support gapless playback? It certainly does, yes. So if I'm listening to side 2 of Abbey Road, for example, there is not going to be any gaps there. Even on high res, because I've got the audio ripped from the DVDs or the Blu-rays, is it? I can't remember which it is now. The Blu-ray that's in the Abbey Road anniversary set. So yeah, even high res it will do gapless. Pure McCartney is so good. Yeah, it is. I mean, you look at the track listing, absolutely great. I still have trouble getting my head around. If I am listening to it, I'm probably thinking, oh, I could have been listening to the albums that these are on. I've not got myself attached in here to Pure McCartney like I have with something like All the Best. If that makes sense. Oops. Thank you, Nikolai. Thank you for joining us. Cheers. Ruby says, my favourite Beatles compilation is Lennon Legend, as it was your introduction to John's solo music. Yeah, good one. That must be over 20 years old now, Lennon Legend. That was a good one. Good question from Claire here. I wonder what the next Beatles album Giles Martin is working on. Well, there's a little bit of news on that. He says, tucked away an hour and a half into a live stream. That some of you might have heard there was a podcast with Sam O'Kell recently. So Sam, who works with Giles, and it is said that a lot of the actual remixing is done by Sam rather than Giles. Giles kind of oversees it. And Sam, I'm trying to think what his exact wording was, but it was something along the lines of that he's working on mid-period Beatles at the moment. I don't think he went more specific than that. That to me suggests that they're working on Revolver. And then maybe they're going to work backwards, which on the one hand is great news. On the other hand, it does kind of rule out something that was only ever a fantasy thing in my head anyway. I'm sure it was never had any chance of existing, but I was really hoping that this year we would get a 60th anniversary 1962 box set, which could be great. You'd start it with the full Decca audition, which was obviously 1st of January 62. You would bookend it with a revamped Live at the Star Club, Hamburg, using Peter Jackson's new technology that can clean it all up and make it sound a lot better. And in between that, you would have various sessions and radio things and that. And I thought we could have had a nice 1962 set. Like I say, that was only ever in my head. But if they are working on Revolver, it suggests that they're not working on something like that. Favourite Beatles compilation, says Blockfrog. That's a good one. I think the Red and the Blue albums are great, and they were one of my introductions to the Beatles, because they were one of the few Beatles albums that my mum and dad had in the house when I was a kid. So I'm not sure that that's ever been bettered. Yeah, probably. Please, can I do a Carry On movie World Cup? Probably not, because you'd get about 5 people watching it. The 5 of us would have a ruddy good time, I think. But well, I know what would win for me anyway. The ultimate Carry On film, Carry On at Your Convenience. I would be shouting for that, definitely. But Rock Things That Carry On Abroad would win that. That's one of the very later ones, isn't it? Interesting. How did we get on to I wasn't expecting to talk about Carry On films tonight. Yeah, interesting. Ruby, you got the Red and Blue albums for your brother's 13th birthday. Cool. James would watch a Carry On World Cup. Okay. You're one of the 5. We've got you. We've got me, you, and Jimmy Nicol likes a pickle. Graham says, any news about the next Paul archive? I mean, nothing that you could class as news that I would make a video about, for example, because I would only do that if I was actually damn sure. But it does kind of seem to be that London Town feels like it's going to be next, but that's not really based on anything official at all. So that might well turn out to be rubbish, utter rubbish, but it does kind of feel like it. It's Carry On a British series. It's the most British series you can imagine. It absolutely is. Carry On Up the Khyber. Yeah, I was watching that a few months ago, and there's those bits that they've tried to make look like the Khyber Pass, but it's just some field in Wales. It's it's not really. They didn't worry too much about authenticity back in those days. Carry On Up the Jungle, was that Terry Scott? I think. Carry On Camping, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I like the campsite owner. Everything's a pound. Brilliant. Justin, do I like Buddy Holly? Of course, yes. If you haven't listened to him, yes, it's Buddy Holly. What can you say? The first Buddy Holly song that I really, really got into was Maybe Baby, back in the late 80s. And I can't remember why, but I think I must have heard something on a Paul McCartney interview, probably somewhere, where I think it was the McCartney on McCartney series, the BBC Radio 1 series from the spring of 1989, and I think they played a little snippet of Maybe Baby. Oh, that's brilliant. I loved that. There's also I really love is when Paul does Peggy Sue. On the that thing from what is it, from about 73, 74, when he's in the back garden at Abbey Road, and he just starts playing Peggy Sue, and it's brilliant. I'm half tempted to. That makes me want to get my guitar down and play Peggy Sue. I don't know. What's better, the archive edition of Red Rose Speedway or the reconstructed version? I prefer the actual Red Rose Speedway album to the reconstructed. It's great having the reconstructed now and seeing what it could have been, but overall, I think there's just a few bits that I think it's padded out by about 2 or 3 songs too much. It starts to I think the quality starts to dip. I much prefer Big Barn Bed as an opener than Night Out, for example. It's weird having Little Lamb Dragonfly at the end of the album. I'm not that fussed about... oh God, what's the Denny Lane song? Whatever it's called. 1882, do I like that? It's all right. It's again, I'm glad it's sort of finally out there properly, but I can see why it wasn't put on an album. Did I celebrate Paul Heaton's 60th birthday last week? What are your favourite House Mountains and Beautiful South songs? I wouldn't say I celebrated it. I was very aware of it. It was great that he did this. He put £1,000 behind the bar in 60 different pubs, which was brilliant. And I didn't realise until the day that it also, Dave Garn from Depeche Mode was also 60 on the same day, born on the same day as Paul Heaton. What is my favourite House Mountains song is probably Build from the People Who Grin Themselves to Death album. My favourite Beautiful South song, it might be something like, well, one that Paul Heaton himself has kind of disowned that he really doesn't like. 36D would be one of my favourite Beautiful South songs. Old Red Eyes Is Back, that would be another one. Brilliant. Rock says, great songwriter for Paul Heaton. I would put Paul Heaton in the top 3 British songwriters of the past 40 years. I would put him up there with Paul Weller and Noel Gallagher. Them for me are the top 3. I would only smile. Yes, that's it, Bernardo. Thank you. It's hard thinking when there's a camera pointing at you sometimes. Yes. Let's have a look at this. If anyone is interested, the new version of recording the Beatles, the studio equipment and techniques used to create their classic albums by Kevin Ryan and Brian Kewis is coming in 2023. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one, but that sounds like it might be something that a bit of that goes into depth. So that could be good. Recently, the 60th anniversary of Stu Sutcliffe's death. Yeah. Build, Ruby. Oh God, Build. Yeah. There's only 2 songs that have ever absolutely just kind of floored me on first listen, as in unbelievable. You know, there's a lot of songs that have become that as I've listened to them over the years, and for whatever reason, Build by the House Martins absolutely floored me on the first listen, as did Big Sky by the Kinks. That was the other one that was just like unbelievable. And sometimes they don't get any better than that. Sometimes they tail off, but those 2, first listen, bang. He found a different kind of respect for Paul Heaton after he sent the staff of Q a sizable amount of money when they were made redundant. I hadn't heard about that. I didn't know that. Interesting. He is a good guy. He certainly is. Who's my favourite Beautiful South female singer? Well, yeah, it's Jackie Abbott. So I've been to see Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott live several times, including when they did their first... I think it was the first time they'd ever headlined an arena themselves. It was at Leeds Arena, and you could just see the look on her face as if to say, oh my God, I'm loving this. And she takes selfies with the crowd as well, an arena crowd. She absolutely loves it. But yeah, so I mean, she obviously came along a few years later, didn't she? And I think, am I right in thinking that the woman that replaced Jackie Abbott, wasn't she the female singer in a Beautiful South tribute act? And they got her to replace Jackie Abbott when she left, I think. Dean says, despite lack of a 1962 box set, you hope we get something next year for Please Please Me. I think if they are going down the Revolver route, which this quote that I mentioned a few minutes ago of mid-period Beatles might suggest, that kind of feels... I don't think they would then go to Please Please Me, so it might mean that they're going to go backwards. Please Please Me might be last. And it might be because, I mean, maybe those earlier albums maybe they need a bit more. Maybe they're waiting for the technology to be better to be able to split them and so they can remix them properly. Claire says, am I a Deacon Blue fan? I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I've got a couple of albums of theirs I've always enjoyed. Dignity is a fantastic song. Amazing song. Chocolate Girl is great. So I know a few of their songs, not too many. But yeah, they were a really good band. Oh, Rock. This Woman's Work by Kate Bush. Absolutely. A friend of mine, I don't think he's here tonight. I've not seen him mention that he's here anyway, sometimes does. Who a few years ago discovered This Woman's Work by Kate Bush. And I know for a fact, because I can see online what he's listening to, through a particular website where it's all uploaded to. He listened to This Woman's Work 29 times in a row on the night that he discovered that song. That is an amazing song. Yeah. Oops. Every time I try and highlight a comment, it goes up, and I don't get the one I was meaning to. Blockfrog, thank you for joining in. Thank you for being here. Have a great night. Joe's having a live stream as well, is he? Is he on at the moment? Well, we'll have to share viewers for a little while. I won't be on too much longer. As I said, I am getting knackered by now. Yeah. Yeah, Raintown. Yeah, it's not Rain Cloud. It's Raintown, isn't it? Yeah, that is a good one. Ghost of Tom Joad by Springsteen. Now, has he done a couple of different versions of that? There's a version from a few years ago. In fact, I'm going to load up iTunes just so I make sure I get the right version. There was a version from a few years ago that I've got, but I don't think it's his original. So once I've loaded up iTunes, I'll just have a look and I'll tell you which version it is that I really love. I can also, once I've got iTunes loaded up, there's another Deacon Blue song that it's really bugging me that I can't remember the name of, so I'll be able to tell you what that is as well. In fact, let's have a look at that. So I've got my iTunes loaded up now, so let's have a look at what that song is. The Deacon Blue one is "When Will You Make My Telephone Ring," and that is on the Raintown album. That's the one. Real Gone Kid as well. I used to do Real Gone Kid in a band that I was in. I used to have to do the really high singing. Jesus, that was hard work. But yeah, I used to play that live. Your Swaying Arms as well is the other Deacon Blue one that I really like. Yeah, Ghost of Tom Joad. Which version is it that I've got? It's on the High Hopes album from 2014. Now, I don't know enough to know if that's the original, but I have a feeling he did a version of that many years before, didn't he? I think. Newborn by Muse knocked your socks off first time you heard it, Andrew. I'm trying to think whether I know that one. No, I'm not sure. Muse have done a great cover of what is it? Feeling Good. Nina Simone, Feeling Good. They did a great cover version of that. Yeah, there's Uprising by Muse is a fantastic song as well. If you love Kate Bush, you might also love the latest Florence and the Machine album, Dance Fever. I've never really listened to much Florence and the Machine. I know they were big. They headlined Glastonbury, didn't they, a few years ago? And did they step in when Dave Grohl broke his leg? Am I remembering that right? Right, James, thank you. There's two versions of it. I assume you're talking about Tom Joad here, Ghost of Tom Joad. An electric version with Tom Morello. Is Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine? Am I thinking of the right person there? That's the version I know, and there's some fantastic guitar on which I presume is Tom Morello. Yeah, and the original acoustic. So I don't know the original acoustic version. I probably need to go and have a listen to that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Folks, I am going to wrap this up for now because I am absolutely knackered. It's been such a long day. We've done the Beatles World Cup of B-sides. And John Lennon, he absolutely bossed it. He absolutely owned it. Let's just have a little reminder before we go of how that went. John Lennon had all the semi-finalists, which were Rain, This Boy, Don't Let Me Down, Baby You're a Rich Man. And then in the final, Rain and Don't Let Me Down won the World Cup of Beatles B-sides. So I enjoyed doing that. That was fun. Thank you for everybody who joined in with that. Remember, I've got another video coming tomorrow about this interesting new CD that I've just had from Strawberry Field. I'm going to be doing a video about that box that I showed you a little while ago, the Beatles box. And you've also just committed me to a load of videos and a load of work building on the Paul McCartney album ranking series, including John, Paul. No, Paul's already there. John, George, Ringo, and the Beatles into one mammoth list. That's going to be fun. But for now, I am signing off. I'm saying thank you very much, everybody. You've been awesome. It's been a good hour and 3/4 we've been on. But it's time to go. Go to bed, please. If you're in the same time zone as me. I will see you later. Bye-bye.